Yo, what's up, boys? Today, I got a story time for you all about a kid who pranked his parents in an absolutely hilarious way. I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to watch the video to find out. I figured you guys would really like this one, so yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, boys. Alright, so this was told to me by a friend of mine who we're going to call Mike for this video. Now, this all takes place on Halloween night of 2019, and Halloween, I'd say, is usually a very fun time. Going out with your friends at night, the spooky stuff, the costumes, it's all just really enjoyable. This may be a very hot take, but I actually like it just a little bit more than Christmas. Like, yeah, Christmas is absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong. I just love the spooky aspect of Halloween so much. Probably because I'm a pretty big horror fan. Anyway, so on Halloween, two of Mike's friends showed up at his house as they were gonna go trick-or-treating. Since this was in 2019, that would mean that they were all 13 during the story. One of them doesn't matter at all to the story, but the other, we're gonna name him Owen. Now, Owen did not have a costume for Halloween, he just simply didn't have time to get one. Now, me, I usually plan out my Halloween costumes pretty far out in advance. Like this year, I decided back in, I think, July that I was going to be Michael Myers for Halloween. Now, since Owen didn't have a costume, Mike decided to give him his costume from last year. I wasn't actually told what the costume was, but I was told that it was a costume with a mask that covers your whole face. And I feel like a lot of Halloween costumes are like that nowadays, especially ones of popular characters from movies or shows. They have a mask covering your face with little eye holes and a little strap that goes around the back of your head. Anyway, so Owen takes the costume and then three go out trick-or-treating. They hit a few houses on Mike Street to start, and that's when Owen tells the other two about an idea that he has. Mike and the other friend are curious, so they ask him to explain what his idea is. So Owen tells them that when they hit his house, he should go inside his house and run around to prank his parents. Since he got his Halloween costume from Mike, his parents don't know what costume he's wearing, and therefore they wouldn't know it would be him. Mike and the other friend are all like, bro, that would be so funny. Do it, do it. They're wearing costumes with masks as well, so them being there wouldn't be a dead giveaway to Owen's parents. So Owen agreed that when they arrive at his house, he was gonna do it. Now, for context, Owen actually lived in the same street as Mike, but on the completely different end of it, so it wouldn't be too long of a walk to get there. Anyways, the three friends arrive at Owen's house, right? And they ring the doorbell. Within a few seconds, Owen's dad opens the door with the candy. Now, at this point, Mike and the other friend look at Owen, wondering if he's going to follow through with his idea or not. And Owen realizes that if he wants to do this prank, now's his opportunity. So Owen decides to run past his dad into the house. Now, the dad is absolutely shocked, so he turns around and screams at Owen, "What do you think you're doing? Get out of my house!" But Owen keeps running around the house, pretending not to hear his dad, so his dad storms into the house screaming, "Hey, you need to get out!" And that's when Owen finally takes off the mask and says, "Dad, it's me, relax, it's just a prank." To be honest, I don't really understand how Owen's dad didn't realize it was him the moment he ran into the house. I'm pretty sure he was aware that Owen's friends were going to give him a costume, but at the same time, if someone you don't recognize enters your house unexpectedly, I can see why your mind wouldn't first go to, "Hey, don't worry, it's just my kid pranking me." Anyways, Owen's dad is kind of shocked by Owen being under the mask, and he says to Owen, "You think this is funny?" And Owen responds with, "Well, kinda, why else would I have done this?" Which, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty fair point. Owen's dad isn't too happy about the prank, although probably because he just thought someone just entered his house. After that, the three friends decide to leave and they all go trick-or-treating for the rest of the night. And it's a pretty normal Halloween after that. Alright, so we actually got one more story in this video. Yeah, I know, it's a 2-for-1 special. Both are pretty short, so I figured I'd just put them both into one video. The second one still kind of falls under the theme of pranking, although not quite, but I still figured these two would work well together. Now, this one was sent in by a subscriber through Discord, and we're gonna call her, Cassidy. So about a year ago, Cassidy and her friends decided to go on a little skiing trip together. Which, skiing's pretty fun. I used to ski every year and I really enjoyed it, but I actually haven't been skiing since the pandemic started, not since 2019. Definitely something I should get back into. Anyway, so Cassidy and her friends decided to rent an Airbnb near the resort they were staying at. They were a mix of 17 and 18-year-olds, and there were 5 of them. So it was Cassidy, her friend, her other friend's boyfriend, and then her other friend's boyfriend's friend. Yeah, I know, it's a little confusing. Okay, so the first day of their trip was pretty fun. They went skiing and, just enjoyed themselves. Skiing is a really fun thing to do, and I should seriously get back into it. When Cassidy and the 4 others got back to the resort, they had to figure out who was sleeping where. For context, there were 3 rooms and 5 people. Cassidy's other friend and her boyfriend went to 1 room, so that left the 3 remaining friends with 2 rooms. They did some sort of game to determine who were getting the rooms, and Cassidy ended up being the unlucky one and got the pullout couch for the night, while her friend and her other friend's boyfriend's friend got the rooms. Seriously, I should have just come up with names for them, but I guess it's too late now. Now, I feel pretty bad for Cassidy here because pillow couches are just super uncomfortable. It's hard to find a good sleeping position because of those friggin' springs. Those springs actually suck. Like, I don't know how the person who made pillow couches looked at his invention, saw the springs, and thought, this is comfortable. Like, I swear, it takes me like half the night to fall asleep on a pillow couch when I usually fall asleep within like 30 minutes or something. Anyways, after a couple hours of trying to fall asleep, Cassidy just could not fall asleep at all. She didn't want to sleep on the pillow couch anymore. So Cassidy decided that she was going to go to the room where her friend was and politely ask if she could share the room with her, since the pillow couch was super uncomfortable. So Cassidy walks down the dark hall to get to her friend's room, and while she didn't know exactly which room her friend was in, she had a good idea of which one it was. So Cassidy quietly walked into the room and made her way to the side of the bed, and initially she thought about just climbing in, but then she realized that it would be a lot nicer to just ask first. Now, before any of you say you would have hated to be woken up in the middle of the night, let me ask you this. Would you rather be tapped on the shoulder by your friend who needs a favor, or would you rather wake up to someone else in the bed that wasn't there when you fell asleep and get one of the biggest scares of your life? I think we'd all choose being tapped on the shoulder. Anyway, so Cassidy taps her friend on the shoulder, but only it isn't her friend, it's her other friend's boyfriend's friend, and she sees his face just staring back at her, looking pretty spooked like he saw a ghost or something. Cassidy feels embarrassed, so she just leaves without saying anything. The next morning at breakfast, she initially felt pretty awkward about it, but then the dude that she accidentally scared started kind of teasing her about it, saying that she looks like some sort of sleep paralysis demon, which is actually kind of funny and definitely a good way to make it less awkward. They apparently ended up bonding over this and actually became pretty good friends over it, which, good for them. That's always really nice to hear. Anyways, thank you to the subscriber who sent this in. I really appreciate it. If you want to listen to another story time just like these two, on screen right now is the story of a spoiled brat who thought he was Jeffy.